seems that envy is my sin.
Oh, what's in the box? What's in the fucking box?
What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of What's in the Box.
I am, of course, your host, Death Metal Hero, and with me is longtime friend of the channel and living legend, Mr. Art Thibert. What's going on, brother? Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you too. Thanks for having me. You know when that trailer part where it looked like the Ghost Rider or your intro with Ghost Rider just sickling those guys. Yeah. All I can think of is that that what's that Steel Panther song? Death to all but metal.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Steel Panther's a hell of a lot of fun. They're funny.
Butt metal?
Butt metal. Yeah.
No, not butt.
No. Anything but metal. Yeah, butt metal. No, yeah, fucking hilarious video. I haven't seen anything from Steel Panther in a long while. Have you?
Yeah, they got a new bass player. I don't know if I like what was that something Fox, the guy that was all like just with the mirror all the time, the bass player, and kind of in love with himself.
Oh, that might have been his character. He was supposed to be like the narcissistic one.
Yeah, and then the new guy, he actually looks a little too legit. Like he looks like a real musician, not like an older guy dressing up like
totally.
From the '80s. Yeah,
totally throwing off the entire theme of the band. Like, you're supposed to. This is supposed to be a joke. We play real music, but we're this is fun. Like this is Spinal Tap basically.
Yeah.
That
I remember seeing those guys. I don't want to hog up the show, but I remember seeing those guys when I don't know if it's still kind of a big thing, but club acts would like there was like Twisted something like it was his sister, but it was a spin on it, and then there was Atomic Punks, and they were like a tribute like they were a
Van Halen tribute band, Atomic Punk.
That's the other one. It's like Cheap Chicks. That's they would do like these like name things, and I saw those guys like the Atomic Punks, and that's that band. That's basically Steel Panther. So I saw them. Yeah, I saw those guys years ago at the House of Blues, and also there's a Rush tribute band called Moving Pictures, and it was some of those guys as well. Yeah.
That's awesome. I actually really enjoy those tribute bands. I mean, my dad, as a matter of fact, fun fact, this microphone is actually one that my dad used to use when he was on tour. He was a musician. He played guitar, he played drums, he played bass, he could sing. He could do it all. But yeah, he was a lead singer of a band for a long time up in like northern Indiana and up into Canada and stuff like that. So anyway, this microphone is actually one of his from back in the 80s.
Is it a Shure microphone?
No, it's not. It is it's a CAD. CAD. Yeah. But I actually have an old Shure mic that he bequeathed me as well, that he gave me, or that I inherited, I should say. I actually used to use it for the sing-along of Doom, and then one night I squeezed it a little too hard, and the top cage came off, so I got to get it repaired. Microphone still works, but I need to get it fixed. But I find those old bands they're fun, man. I grew up, obviously listening to that stuff. I mean, that was played very often around, and I mean, I still have fond memories of the '80s and the music being put out during that time. I mean, hell, some of the metal that I really love came out in the '80s. I mean, death metal started in the '80s. You had Death and Necrophagist and stuff like that starting.
Well, even the harder stuff like Alice in Chains and Guns N' Roses, right? That was tail end there. I mean, it's more heavy, it's not metal, but
yeah, Alice in Chains actually did start in the late '80s, and they kind of continued. Hell, one of my favorite bands, Nevermore, started in the late '80s as well. And they did kind of that higher pitched at the beginning, and then they became just like just really fucking heavy metal. And Warrell Dane was an absolutely amazing vocalist, probably one of my favorites. And then of course Chuck from Death, Chuck Schuldiner. He was pretty incredible. I mean, nobody had really heard anybody do anything like that when they started doing their thing. And you know,
I like that like death metal and like the really heavy music. Those guys have just given up on any kind of mainstream like acceptance. I mean, they're just doing their own shit, you know, like because I remember when like Limp Bizkit and what was that kind of rap rocky stuff?
yeah, Korn, Limp Bizkit, you know, Linkin Park kind of continued it. Yeah,
this is kind of cool. And then I just remember talking to a musician friend, and I said this was before Linkin Park hit the scene, and I was like, if somebody can make this melodic, they're gonna be the like crossover band, right? And so then Linkin Park brought in melody to that. Music, and then all of a sudden it's like, ooh, Linkin Park.
Yeah, and you know, I did my fair share of listening to Linkin Park when I was younger and like in college and stuff like that. But the funny thing is, as I've gotten older, my music taste has just gotten heavier and louder and crunchier, and you know, less of that whole. And I mean, you know, they're fun, they're catchy tunes. I'm not gonna lie, but at the same time, like give me something loud and crunchy, and I love that shit. You know. I've moved on to kind of, I guess, what they would call gent now. Yeah, I'm sure you've seen that before, like the DGENT, and dude's got like a fucking 12-string guitar and it's tuned really fucking low, and it's just guitar impresarios just fucking going nuts on the thing, like bands like Animals as Leaders and Blotted Science and stuff like that. I mean, it's insane. You know, I'm sure you've heard of Meshuggah, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so to take like the kind of stylings of Meshuggah, like that whole math metal thing, they kind of created their own genre. There's a band called Fractalize that's the kind of music that they create, and I fucking love that stuff. You know, just throw it on in the background and get stuff done. No vocals, no nothing, just straight fucking heavy death metal.
Yeah, I like the guys that take elements from that, like Avenged Sevenfold or something, but they're still like it's melodic, because I'm like a melodic guy, like, you know, like I loved like UFO and the Scorpions and Judas Priest of the day and stuff like that. That there's still like melody, it's still melodic in a way. And then, you know, you have somebody like Avenged that takes, well, they used to, I haven't listened to anything that they've done lately, but I mean, there would be like real deep cuts, you know, like they would be pulling like on drums and some guitars.
Oh yeah.
But just making it, I don't want to say commercial, because, you know, that's always kind of, you know, it's a demeaning kind of thing to say, but it was definitely more of like it had melodic, you know, elements to it, so it had a broader appeal and things. So I like, because I'm sorry, Luke, I can't listen to that stuff very much.
Oh, it's an acquired taste, man.
A song or two, but then it's just like, oh my gosh, I just want to rage and break things.
See, I find catharsis in it. You know, the pounding blast beats and like the guitars. You know, I find my zen with that stuff, and I love it. And the way I look at like the deep guttural growls and stuff, it's just a different type of instrument. It's like a very angry wind instrument to me, you know.
Yeah. No, yeah. I like it too, but it's like I said, when it's filtered through other things, you know, then I can listen to it in an enjoyable manner. But there are those drummers that are in those death metal. I don't know what their quarter notes or what are that, pop, 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 and they're like double bassing. Pop, 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 pop.
Oh yeah.
Just some of that. I know how they do it. I don't know how they continue doing it. You know what I mean? Like it's one thing to do it like, you know, for a bar of 4 or something, but it's another thing doing it for a whole song. Yeah, I mean, that stuff's really physical. That playing, those guys are not going to age well. You know, those guys are going to get beat up. You know?
If you look at some of those guys, like the death metal drummers, they're really skinny dudes. Like they are just skinny dudes, and they just go fucking ape shit on those drums, man. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Derek Roddy is a name that comes to mind. He actually has like his own video series on teaching people how to play drums like that, and it's just incredible.
The guy with the crazy beard, like there's a guy with a crazy beard that does some like tutorials and things.
Oh, I don't know. He might have a crazy beard now. One of the videos that I saw a long time ago, he didn't have a crazy beard, but there's a lot of great drummers out there now, especially in like the extreme metal scene, as they like to call it.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I love that stuff. I'll have to send you a link to some Nevermore so you can check out some of their stuff. I think you'd enjoy them because it's heavy and loud. Think like a slightly heavier version of Alice in Chains, but still, melodic and singing and lyrics, and yeah, it's really good stuff, man. Nevermore was a fantastic band. I think you'll get a lot out of it.
That band is.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're underrated, man.
Oh,
I think
definitely.
they're better than Guns N' Roses and all that stuff. I mean, that's a really amazing band.
I agree. I agree. Well, let's say hi to the chat. Flying Feline is here. Skull, beautiful. This is my partner in crime. Always got my back. And she says, "Hello, Art."
Right back at you.
We spent a lot of time listening to Alice in Chains. We've it's one of the reasons why she and I get along so well. We like a lot of the same music.
Yeah.
Oh, hey,
when I first heard Alice in Chains, I was like, "Is this Guns N' Roses done like to the nth degree?" And then the guy's like, "No, that's Alice in Chains." I was like, "Oh shit."
Yeah. Lane Stanley had an amazing voice. He had an amazing range, and so did Warrell Dane. The dude from Nevermore. My esteemed co-host on Topic List, Mr. Jason Bascom. What's up, dude? Good to see you. Says my two favorite people on panel. Well, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Appreciate that, man.
Jason's good people.
So I don't know if you can see, I got my black and white shirt on here. Love this shirt, man. I've been rocking this shirt for many years now. Feline says she misses that band.
That's the black and white. Oh, I'm sorry. That's the black and white Vampy.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
From back in the day before the first black and white volume came out.
Right.
And black and white is actually why we're here today. Let me show you something real quick before we jump into opening this. So I got volume 1, a while ago. Loved it, read it, but I don't know if I ever got a chance to show you this. Let's see. Should I flip my camera around? Yeah, let me flip my camera around. Traditional drawing. And
blast from the past.
Right. I've got 1, 2, and 3. I've actually got 2 copies of number 1.
You haven't read volume 2 yet, right?
No, I haven't. And I am so very looking forward to it, man.
I'm telling you, since you read the 90s stuff, let me know how you like volume 1, volume 2 together, because it's based on these 3 books. But
really?
It goes in its own place. But you're going to see similarities, and also you're going to see like similar panels. So, I kind of redraw some of the panels. Yeah.
I did see that going back through issue 1 and 2 and reading volume 1. I did see, similarities. I like the way you updated it though. Like you definitely updated it for, to seem more of a modern comic. I mean, these came out in the 90s, and they have some of the 90s tropes, present in them, but that's part of the reason why I love them so much, I mean, the 90s were great for music and for comic books, you know what I mean? Yeah, but I do like the way you updated it for this new version, man. So I am wicked curious to see what volume 2 holds in store, because, I've read these 3 and I could see where this one actually ended at the end of issue 2. So is volume 2 going to be 3 and 4, or is it just volume 3 and then new stuff?
There was never a 4. So
there was never a 4. Okay.
So volume 2 of the new stuff is based on volume 3 of the original 90s image run.
Awesome. Okay.
But it just, it's loosely, in the truest sense of the word, based on volume 3. But I already know the story and stuff. So when you read volume 2, let me know, like a comparative way of what you thought of like the 94 stuff and then the new volume 1 and 2 and how it all hangs together. And if I did the 90s proud, you know what I mean?
I will indeed. What's up, Woodrow?
Woodrow.
Good to see you, sir. Thank you for coming to hang out with us. Yeah, I got these in a box that because I was working at the comic shop when I got these, and the owner was getting rid of a box of comics that she was I don't want these, I can't, I don't need them in the shop, and so I was going through and I was that's where I got a whole bunch of like the old Bloodshot comics. I got a bunch of the old Extreme book that Fraga worked on, Rub the Blood.
That was Bloodstrike, right?
Bloodstrike. Yep. I had a whole bunch of those, and I was actually able to put together a few different sets and send those out to people, so they could read them. And then I came across these, and I was like, "Holy crap! I recognize that signature." And then you joined this indie scene, and you're like, "Yep, we're bringing black and white back." I was like, "Yes, I've got the OGs." So super excited to read Volume 2. These were a lot of fun, and I actually went back and reread Volume 1 earlier today, and I really enjoy this book, man. I like the way you've updated it so far, and I can't wait to read Volume 2.
Volume 2 is practically nonstop action, because in Volume 1 there was a lot of setup. I wanted to get in there, and so Volume 2 we really get into more of the villain arc, and just like it just gets epic. Like the action, all that stuff just really gets ramped up in Volume 2. So while we're still here, just like Volume 3 and 4, those are based on the ongoing that never came out in '95. So it's loosely based, just kind of like Volume 1 and 2 are based on the '94 stuff.
Nice.
This is going to be loosely based on that ongoing storyline that Pamela and I came up with. She's my wife, co-writer. And that we came up with in '95 or whenever the hell it was. And so we only got the first issue out, and then the industry kind of crashed and crumbled. And so I had to go on to other things that were more steady paycheck oriented.
Right.
But that story never went away. So Volumes 3 and 4 are going to be that storyline. So think about Volume 1 and 2. Volume 1 and 2 are like the origin, like they're Whitney Sung's origin, and kind of the early black and white get together, right?
Gotcha.
And so then volume 3 and 4 are going to be like Reed Blackett, aka Black's origin.
Okay.
And so we're gonna get into that, and also like for me, origin stories are always like, okay, so Spider-Man dons the costume and takes care of the guy that killed Uncle Ben, but then what?
Right.
How do you continue that? Or Bruce Wayne? How do you continue that? So what we're going to get into is kind of like a second part of an origin of black and white, like how they continue, how they choose to get together and move forward as black and white. So it's kind of like volumes 1 and 2 are like Whitney's origin and part of the black and white origin, and then 2 or 3 and 4 are going to be Black's and continue like how they're going to stay together as black and white.
Okay, so Volume 1 and 2 is they're kind of like the inciting incident that brings them together, and then 3 and 4 kind of continue it on and show how they function now as a team. That's awesome.
And as a couple too, because we hinted, in that Volume 1 that like I always like those like what if stories, like you kind of get this hint like that Black or like Reed Blackett and Whitney's song, if this past never came up,
right?
Like they would probably be a blissful couple, right? They would just they would have a successful brewery, they would be rolling in the dough, and they would be together. But her past came up, and so his past hasn't really been dealt with either. And so it's like, how do you move forward when you still have this past, like that's rearing its ugly head?
Right.
So one of the things about Volume 1 and 2 is like we get into a little bit of what if, what if Whitney and Reed were together, but then this thing interrupts it and you never really get to see that. So when we move forward with them, it's like we're going to see the inevitable of them get together, but it's not going to be the way it would have been if none of that stuff happened. You know what I mean? Like there's still a couple and all that, but they're going to be like this crazy, like vigilante team,
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. So I'm going to go ahead and open this. But for those, this was a knife that was given to me by a friend of mine a long time ago. It's one of my favorites, and I figure it's dramatic enough for opening books on stream. But
so,
tell people,
Luke, real quick, how did you get that knife out of your back?
I've got an adamantium back. No knives can stick.
I can't reach back.
Although I will say I have used this knife to scratch my back a couple of times.
All right, you got to be careful.
Yeah. So for those not familiar with black and white at all, why don't you tell us where the idea came from, like how the concept came to be?
Well, I was working at Extreme Studios. This was obviously like probably early 90s, like 93, something like that. Mm-hmm. And so just hanging out, and Rob Liefeld and I had a conversation. He goes, you don't really seem happy. You're just kind of inking covers and penciling covers and stuff like that. Is there something you want to do? And I said, well, I'm a pretty humble guy. I don't know. And then he goes, well, what if you had your own series? There he goes, itching his back.
Oh yeah,
bloodshed. And so then he said, what about your own series? And I said, oh, that's cool. He goes, you got anything? I said, no.
No.
So then later, my wife and I were going to go see. We're going to go to the Bruce Lee auction and estate.
Nice. Okay.
It was his wife and his daughter. Brandon Lee had just passed, and so they were auctioning a lot of Bruce Lee stuff. And I'm a big Green Hornet Kato fan. Ooh,
yeah.
And so
is Pedro and Vaughn. Anyway, sorry, continue.
And so we're there, and I was there to back one of the tiers, and it was a throwing. They're like these little hornet darts that Bruce Lee used to throw. And there was
cool.
There was one at the auction, and it was $800. Ooh, look at the pin. Cool. And and so I was going to bid on it. It was $800. It seemed affordable, but ooh, yeah, look at that.
Look at that enamel pin. I don't know if my camera is doing it justice, but damn, that turned out good, Art. I like that. I like that a lot, actually.
It's substantial, right? It feels substantial. Yeah,
feels good, and it looks good. It's not super glossy like I've seen some of them. It's got like a kind of a semi-gloss finish, and I like that because it's not reflecting all of the light right back into my eyes. Right.
Yeah. And so, anyways, long story short, that 800 bid went to like what was it, like 8,000? It was crazy. It went crazy fast, and I didn't even get my tattle up to bid. And so then we're driving home. I lived in Orange County, and we were in LA, so it's a little bit of a drive. And so as I'm driving, I'm telling Pamela, my wife, about Rob's offer. And so then black and white pretty much came out of that conversation in the car. So it's really based on the Green Hornet and Kato.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So she's Chinese. She's half Chinese. But he's British, so there's a little bit of a spin on it. He's an ex MI10 agent.
Yeah.
And so a lot of that stuff came from that drive. The name Black and White came from the drive. The tagline came from the drive. In a world where law and order is often blurred to gray, justice can only be black and white. So
I love that. That worked perfectly.
Yeah. So then I went the next day, and I talked to Rob. I got an idea.
Called here.
There you go. And Rob Liefeld was like, black and white, like the Jackson song. He goes, I love it. Let's do it. So that's pretty much the origin of black and white. Yeah.
That's awesome. I love the fact that you didn't have an idea to begin with, but look, got a nice Inco sticker here.
That's good ink.
That's good ink. I love the fact that it's a concept that you and your wife kind of came up with together. That your partner in crime helped you come up with something awesome, and now here we are, years later, And I got another patch to add to the vest. I'm actually putting together a comic book, an indie comics battle vest. Ooh. And so I've been collecting all these different patches to put on said vest. So I love patches, man. I love patches.
Well, make sure when you get that on there that you take a picture. I'll post it. I'll retweet it, re-exit.
Absolutely will. But I love that story, man. I love the fact that, you know, it's a concept you guys came up with together, and, you know, it's something you brought back, you know, and she helps you write the stories as well, right?
Yeah. I'm fairly dyslexic, so it's really hard for me to actually physically write. So I can kind of jot things down, and then she takes it from there. There's the great Billy Tucci drawn. Yeah.
That's awesome. I love the cards too, and this is the old school Capullo. This was like a double page spread in what was it, issue 2 back in '94.
Yeah, remember they would do pinups. Like it's weird. Like in the '90s, there were some variant covers, but it was mostly like the image books had like impressive pinups, like like a spread, like a Playboy pullout kind of thing. Yeah.
Like a centerfold, but with awesome artwork instead of, you know, a naked woman.
Yeah, exactly. And so this was cool. We had a contest. So it was a black and white art contest. And so
I remember
we're going to pick 6 winners, 6 or I forget what it was. And so we picked the best 6, and we got some dynamite cards out of it. So that's Trevor Scott, I think. This is the great Joe Bernardo. I hope I get everybody's name.
Let's see.
He's got initials. Is it RBG or RGB?
Let's see. What do I see on here? Yeah, this is RBI.
RBI. There you go. Yep. Runs batted in. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the last 2.
Let's see.
Wilson.
This is Mike Wilson right here, and then this is Stephen Rockwood.
Rockwood, how can I forget Rockwood, man?
I had totally forgotten about the art contest until I started looking through these cards. These are great, man, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want cards. More book. I love cards. I've still got binders and binders and binders of the old cards that I used to collect back in the day. And the ones that aren't in binders, I have in like the square, card boxes. I used to love these things, man. It was something that my dad and I used to do. We used to, go get like a box of cards, and then we would, sit and open all the packs and try to get the entire set and all the chase cards. It was fun, man.
When I was a kid, man, like baseball cards were the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I still have all my cards from when I was a kid. I got an O.J. Simpson rookie card. Like,
oh man,
yeah. I don't know how much it's worth, but yeah, I still have all that stuff. And the cool thing about between black and white, the black and white campaigns and the Chrono Mechanics campaign, we got quite a bit of cards. So and we have patches and a lot of the the stretch goal goodies. So I was thinking about maybe doing like a garage sale, like, maybe on Fun My Comic. Is that what it's called?
Luke Stone's site. Absolutely, man.
Exactly. And doing a small campaign and just like whatever, it'd be very, very
What's up,
limited.
Good stuff. Welcome.
Hey, good stuff. It'd be very limited, but that would be the whole point of it, like doing a small campaign maybe for a month, and then, you guys could have access to some of the cards and stretch goal stuff that from years gone past. And also you can kick yourself in the head that you didn't back then, because now they're going to be a premium.
Right? Exactly.
You used to get them for free, and now you got to pay for them.
Well, see, that's the reason why you want to be paying attention to people's social medias, so that you can jump on campaigns, so you can sign up, so you can get those exclusive cards, so you can get this cool stuff, so you don't have to pay a premium price for it later.
Look at all that stuff there. It's like, what is that? 8 cards.
8 cards, a pin, a patch, and 2 stickers. Like
Yeah,
all in a single Gemini mailer. It's very, very well put together.
yeah.
I
don't know. Ask Pamela.
she's magic, clearly. You know,
Yeah,
clearly magic.
She's a Wiccan.
But yeah, right. And you know, the nice touch. Thanks for your support. You know, it's always nice to be thanked.
Yeah.
You know, people like that, and this is beautiful, man. I'm glad that I finally got a chance to have you on so we could talk about it, and so I could open this. You know, I got this a while ago. You know, Art Fulfilled. You know, on time a while ago. Got the book out, and I'm going to move these cards and the stickers and everything so I can actually pick up the book. But I can already tell that I love the feeling of the cover. You know, I'm one of those weirdos that I enjoy the feeling of the covers. Like I love that. I don't know what they call it. It's kind of like a soft touch. It's got like kind of this matte finish on some of these some of the books.
Don't show up. Yeah, and if you look at the main book, that's got a UV coating on it. So yeah.
Go ahead and get these cards
I
out
feel
of
like
the way.
We're playing poker.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you could put together a poker set. I mean, playing cards are pretty, you know, pretty popular as well. What's up, Art of Roy? Thanks for being here, man. Appreciate you retweeting the stream. Thank you.
Hey, Art of Roy, real quick. He's great on my live streams. Thank you for all the input about our problem with mailing stuff, the postage and the insurance on the original artwork to Australia. I talked to Pamela the other night, and she said we did get our money back for the artwork. So
That's fantastic.
She did put a claim through, and we did get our money back. So I didn't hear that part. So she said she did that later. So thanks for hipping me to that. And yeah, so we actually got the artwork back, the damaged artwork back, and the money. So it kind of worked out for us in the long run.
The book turned out great. Well, I'm happy to hear that, man. I'm very happy to hear that. Hey, what's up, Headless Bourgeoisie? Thank you for being here. Thanks for joining us. Showing off this is a Kenneth Rocafort cover, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I still don't know how that happened, but it happened. Yeah.
You got lucky, homie. You got lucky.
Kenneth is one of those guys that it used to piss me off because he did all the covers to the books that I worked on. Like I'd work on the interiors and he'd do all the covers. And then I just go, well, the covers are so amazing. I can't fault him.
Right.
Look at that.
Oh, so good, man.
Do the Reed Blackett coming out of the ashes. It's the last panel on your right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love it, man. Oh, so good. I cannot wait to jump into this and read this. This is going to be fantastic, man. I've been going on a bender trying to get all of the different things. I guess it was about last Sunday. I reached out to everybody that I had like stuff from and that I wanted to open. And I've been going through. I had Adam Lawson on the other day, and I opened up my Jawbone Death, my Kill Journal, Finch Dossier, and my Exiled book, and I've just been going through and reading all of these awesome indie books, and I am so happy that I was able to back these. You know,
Adam's awesome. He is great on live streams.
Art of Roy says it's what we do. That's right, man. That's right. This is what we do over in the indie scene. We help each other out.
Thanks for having my back. And also, Luke, thanks for all the support, the black and white support, and all the support on YouTube and all that other stuff too. I mean, this is a great community. It really
I agree, man. I agree, man. And you're most welcome. You know, you and Fraga, two of the early friends that I made in this scene, man. You know, and I remember we used to live stream together when I was still working at the comic shop. You know, Saturday afternoons we'd do a stream. Those halcyon days of youth, right? Back in the day when this scene kind of first started kicking off. It's kind of crazy how things have changed since then, huh?
It feels like it's kind of structured now. Like before, it felt like it was the Wild West, and now it feels it feels a little more sane. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but
Well,
it's
you know,
it is a thing.
if it means that people are look at Pedro just being fucking awesome here.
Yeah.
Love it. I am very excited to read this as well. You know, Pedro's just been kicking out the jams recently. I'm very excited for his book Waifus and Kaijus to come out, and you know, obviously Tropical Magics was great. It makes me happy to see him succeed. But you know, I'm so happy that I have all these friends that keep making good stuff. You know, been doing this thing for a while now. I mean, Jason and I actually just we've been doing topic lists for 4 years now. You know, we started doing topic lists in August 31st of 2020 was the first episode. So the episode the other day was 4 years doing topic lists. You know, wow. And this indie scene has been kicking around for, you know, longer than that. I mean, it's pretty crazy that I mean, I guess in another 4 years it'll be, you know, a whole decade that we've been doing this. So, you know, it's pretty awesome.
Were you there from the beginning? Were you kind of popping in and listening to live streams and stuff?
I was just kind of lurking, you know, because I was working at the comic shop. I started working at the comic shop in 2015, and I worked there for 7 years, up until, you know, she sold the comic shop to somebody else. And you know, I kind of watched the mainstream industry just kind of like collapse in on itself and stop being able to produce, you know, good work. And so around that time, I discovered, you know, this burgeoning indie scene. You know, obviously I was paying attention to Brian Polito doing Lady Death. Jimmy Palmiotti was doing his thing on Kickstarter. And, you know, those two guys were kind of some of the early ones that I saw doing this crowdfunding thing. And, you know, then, you know, obviously I started listening to Ethan's, you know, channel because he was doing, you know, art critiques and he was talking about different things like that. And then I discovered Fraga, and, you know, that's Fraga is actually what got me to start jumping into live streams and talking to people. And then, you know, he happened to toss the link in the chat one day, and I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to get on there. It's not going to happen. So I clicked the link, and lo and behold, started talking to people. And then Jason and I started doing topic lists soon after that. And, you know, the rest is, as they say, history.
Yeah. Well, you're kind of a natural. I mean, your voice is great, and
thanks,
you have a genuine affection for the industry and the art form. Yeah. And it shows, man. It really does show.
Well, thanks, dude. I really do appreciate that. I mean, I did the show last Wednesday, about, I guess it's almost 20 years ago. I did an interview with Ethan at MegaCon 2007. And that's my highest viewed video on my channel currently. But yeah, I used to do a show called Last Wednesday with some friends of mine, and we would talk about, I mean, this is before, you know, everybody had, you know, a show on YouTube, talking about comics and movies and stuff like that. And we were broadcast locally around here. And it just, if I hadn't done that, I don't know that I would have the, I don't know, the natural inclination to do this like I do now. So yeah, we would go to conventions and interview people, obviously with the, you know, the interviews I have on my channel. But I have been reading comics since I was a kid. My dad got me into comics, you know, and I've always wanted to, you know, I've always wanted to draw comics. I've always wanted to be a creator. You know, when I was a kid, that was what I wanted to be. You know, when I was a kid, I thought, well, if I'm ever rich, I'll just, you know, I'll sit around and draw all day. Well, why don't I get paid to draw? So, you know, here I am. And now I'm working on a book called Mercenary Guild for an indie publisher out of Jacksonville here. So yeah, man. So it's been building, you know, slowly but surely. And I'm very thankful for this indie scene we got over here. You know, it's pretty incredible. Let's see.
It's a creator haven, man. It really is. I mean, yeah. I left the mainstream by choice. I wasn't pushed out. I mean, some guys have been pushed out or whatever, but you know, I was working on Super Sun, so I was still in, you know, top 5 books, you know, in the industry. But I just saw this place and it looked fun and it looked like things were happening.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I just jumped ship and came over and started creating, and haven't looked back. And to be honest, I mean, I'm kind of thinking I want to retire here. I'm going to keep creating these IPs and these ideas, and hopefully keep getting support and just take it as far as I can. Because to be honest, even if the mainstream would have me back, I don't know what's left. You know what I mean? Like it's nothing that I grew up on. It's nothing that excites me, from when I was a kid.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know, what Marvel and DC would be like to even go back and try to do some work.
You know what's funny? You were doing that Super Sons series, and I was still working at the comic shop when you were still doing that series, when it was coming out on a regular basis. And I remember that being one of the highest selling books that we had in the shop. I remember that being on just about everybody's pull list, because I had to go through and I had to do people's pulls, for their pull list at the shop. And everybody that was picking up like Superman and Batman, and they were getting the DC stuff, and even some people that weren't really into DC were picking up Super Sons just because it was such a good series and they were enjoying the work you guys were doing. And then they just kind of canceled it and changed it to whatever the hell they were doing.
Whatever Bendis wanted it to be. But the thing is, like that was a great series. And I've been in this industry for over 40 years now. And so for people to make an effort to reach out and to say things to you in this industry is big. And on Super Sons, people made a point to contact me and say they really enjoy the series, and they say it's one of the few books they feel like they can share with their kids, things like that. It wasn't just a kid's book. I mean, you could read it, and still enjoy it as an adult. It just didn't have any really offensive stuff in it, that would.
It was a genuine all ages book. It was suitable for all ages, and all ages doesn't mean it's a kid's book. It just means anybody can enjoy it. Like all the old stuff from like the 80s, the 70s and 80s. You could let your kids read, because they're enjoyable enough for adults to read, but they're suitable enough for kids to read, teenagers to read, as well. I mean, I grew up reading mainstream Marvel and DC, like Batman, Spider-Man, and the Fantastic Four were the first 3 comics that I was ever given by my dad. And I grew up reading, Stan Lee and John Romita Sr.'s Spider-Man. That was my Spider-Man. And, Romita Sr.'s Spider-Man is still like, whenever I think of like old school Spider-Man, like the traditional Spider-Man, that's what I think of. Romita Sr.
Yep.
Feline says, so much amazing art and talent. Yes, indeed. This scene is full of art and talent. Art of Roy says, art to get the bend out of artboards, get a few sheets of bond paper, moisten with a sponge, put down clean sheets, lay artwork art side down, lay down the damp sheets over the art and place books on top. Leave the art for about 4 hours or so, and the art will be flat again. Works on bends, not folds or creases. So
this is a bend. Like if you don't know, Luke, 2 Ekman Carlos Pacheco pages were kind of bent. There's not a crease or a fold.
Well, that's good.
And so the guy that received the art, he kind of blamed the packaging and stuff, which it wasn't our fault.
Right.
And so he wanted his money back. So long and short of it, we got the money back and we got the pages back. So I was thinking, it would be nice to see, because I had heard that you can take creases out of artboard. You can't
probably have to get like an iron or something like that. Like that would probably require heat as well.
That's what I always heard, like an iron, like wet, like a wet cloth or like a damp, towel, and then just kind of iron it and just be careful, you don't burn the artwork or anything.
Exactly.
But I'll look it up and see, when I cross that bridge, when I get there,
Right. Well, I'm hoping that you can. I'm hoping that you can repair the artwork, and it's not irrevocably damaged. Rick Saylor says, "Don't do that." What's up, Rick? Good to see you, man. Thanks for jumping in to say hi.
Don't do what? Like now, I got to know.
Maybe the iron.
The iron. or the
Yeah,
art
see, I was
boy.
thinking like one of those, the big T-shirt presses that they use to put like, those heat adhesive letters on T-shirts.
I don't
Hail.
know, man.
Okay, yeah, don't do the iron, I'm thinking is what he's saying. Good to see you, Rick. I am so excited to read these. I love this cover, man. If you ever decide to do a second black and white T-shirt, you might want to think about this image here. This is pretty badass, dude. I like this. Yeah, iron. Don't use the iron.
Okay.
Don't do that, Art. Iron will destroy the paper. Okay, well there you go. These guys know.
So just get a damp cloth, put a book on it, let it set for 4 hours, and then hopefully the crease will be gone.
Get a few sheets of bond paper that you moistened with a sponge. So you don't want it to be too wet, but just kind of damp. So it kind of will seep into the paper a little bit, and then let it release the crease or release the bend. Yeah. Okay.
Got it. Thanks.
Our boy is up the right alley. There we go. Okay, cool. All right. So obviously, Volume 3 is coming of Black and White. Because you've got an Oodles of Doodles campaign going on, which Feline so awesomely dropped into the chat for people here. It's also in the link in the description. So when do you think we'll see Volume 3 come out?
Oh, it's coming out in October.
Nice.
Yeah. So this October will be the 30th anniversary of Black and White. So it came out in '94. Awesome. So it'll be the 30th anniversary. So I got a lot of things planned, but I don't have anything concrete yet.
Okay.
About like just celebratory stuff that we're gonna add to the campaign. But if you want, I can share some of the stuff.
Oh, absolutely! I would love to see something exclusive.
All right, so this is stuff. This is for the new Black and White campaign. So I'm going to present myself to you guys. Boom, boom.
Let's see, and add to stage. Oh, look at that!
So this will be the main cover for the new book. Yeah.
Wow.
So we got some robot carnage going on.
Yeah.
This is still work in progress too, you guys. So I'm working with Brian. He did the color work for the original series. Well, actually for Volume 2, he did the interiors. So he's back. He's working on the interiors. We're well into that. And so then
beautiful.
This is the cover. Thank you. So stick it to the bots, man. This is Black and White doing their thing, destroying robots, and also this is showing off the new suits. So the new power suit. These are the new designs for the suits.
Dig it.
So I'm probably going to do that. I came up in the X-Men time, where the X-Men uniforms and stuff changed, all the time. So I'm going to be doing that with Black and White as well. So they're always going to get upgrades every new story arc.
I kind of like it. It shows the progression of their suits, and you can kind of tell the time period by looking at their suits, and you used to be able to do that with the X-Men too, So yeah, I dig it, man.
Yeah, products of their time, indeed, yes. And so I like that she's like throttling this like he's got a throat. She's choking him out and then she's ripping his arm off. I like the brutality. That's why I like robots.
Yeah.
Because you can't really do this with a human. I think that's why people like zombies too, because you could just like obliterate them.
Right. You can get that gore going on without it people feeling too bad that, a human is getting, obliterated.
Exactly. So robots are always that. So I always like that type of thing. So also it's in the future, but not any real future. So I'm not dating it like 2050 or anything like that.
It's just always in the near future.
Yeah, it's just kind of a made up reality that we're dealing with here. So especially when you read volume 2, Luke, remember that, because there's some like new China and there's some like references, but I don't get into a lot of detail. I just wanted to use different names so it didn't feel like it was contemporary or like from our time.
Right. Feline says that's fire. Hey, I recognize that image.
Yeah. So we were talking in the green room or before we came out, and you have that T-shirt. So this is the
man.
Black and White Dynamite cover that I did some years ago, and so it's going to be featured in the Oodles of Doodles book. So I tease this as a stretch goal. So all the pages are put together. The files are ready for the printer. And so this is proof of some of the new pages. So we have the, the thumbnail is here. So you get to see a little work in progress. So here's like the quick thumbnail.
Nice.
And then it goes, they're not exactly in order, but I wanted to do something compositional and it wouldn't allow me to do it any other way. So I had to cheat the order. So there's the this is a tighter layout. These are not the pencils. Yeah. But it's just a tighter layout. And then here's the ink.
Hello. That's right. Thibert is he's good at drawing the ladies. He draws the sexy ladies very well. And Vampy looking especially sexy sitting there on top of that giant robot skull.
Yeah, so I got the robots in here, and there she is in all her color glory. And this is the great Kyle Ritter doing colors on this. So
beautiful piece.
Yeah, he always nails it. So that's one of the pages from Oodles of Doodles and other stuff too. If you guys haven't backed the book, what are you waiting for? This will be featured in there. And we were talking about Pedro Ng. We are going to have a Pedro Ng comeback. So we are going to do High Octane 2. This is the Animated Adventures book. And these are Pedro did a layout. And so I tightened it up and I penciled this and inked it. So this is like an inspired kind of Pedro Ng drawing. So this is the cover for High Octane 2. And you can say like these are like my color roughs too. So you can see it looks really bad. So this is still work in progress. But what I do sometimes is I'll let the colorist do a first run, and then sometimes it'll spark a creative idea. Yeah. And then I'll take it from there. So I came in and added the red background, the halo outline around the figures, and then made the eye look more like an eye. Yeah. That's an electric eye.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
What's up? That's good stuff. Good to see you. Thank you for being here.
Yeah. So Pedro Ng's kicking ass. He's well into the book. We're working really closely on it. He actually is. He's doing writing chores too. Oh
wow, that's awesome! Yeah. And I gotta say, I really love the combination of your inks over Pedro's pencils, man. I love the combination because I could definitely tell, your ink lines coming in over his figures, and it's a nice. I guess amalgamation is what I'm looking.
But just to clarify, those aren't his pencils; those are my pencils.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he did a thumbnail. He did like a layout.
Okay. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, just like a thumbnail, just an idea. So I took that thumbnail and then I penciled it up. So the idea with the electric eye.
Gotcha.
And then that black figure is somewhat his. Mm-hmm. I changed it a little bit, and then the white figure is all mine. But it's his basic idea, and so he sparked the creative fire and got the thing going. But I didn't want him to have all the fun on this book.
It's like, I got to have a little fun on this book as well. That's awesome, man. I love it. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's more of a cartoon style, so it'll be a follow-up to this.
Yeah.
The High Octanes are 22 pages. They're a little they're less expensive than the main book, and they're one and dones. So you can get
nice. Okay.
Yeah, and and they're all ages. So
Awesome.
you can turn those on to your kid, you know, and let them, you know, go. I mean, look it over first, because there might be something that you know don't approve of. But yeah, I think everything in there's fine.
So, do you think you'll ever take all the high octanes and put them together in like a trade at some point?
You know, I would love to do that. I just love. I want product. I want stories. You know what I mean? Like I want
Absolutely.
mythology. I want all this stuff, and I'm only one guy. And the
Right.
cool thing about working with Pedro is he pretty much gets it, right? So he and I, like, we riffed on the story. Like we just like
Nice.
how we're doing this.
Yeah.
I set up the live. Well, it's not a live stream, but I set up StreamYard.
Yeah.
And so I just don't go public with it. And so then he and I just hang out. And he's used to that animation and advertising.
Yeah.
So he can turn things, like as we're working, he can do drawings.
Yeah.
And so we're just talking, he's doodling, and we're just ripping off of each other. He's sending stuff to me, I'm editing it, I'm reworking it, send it back to him. And so we pretty much within like an hour, we came up with this new storyline for High Octane 2. And
Awesome.
And he's writing it, and he sent me a breakdown of the story, and it was so concise. It was a page and a half. It was so perfect and concise. I was like, I think I picked the right guy. Like, you know,
Oh
like,
yeah.
like sometimes you'll get stuff back, and you get together with somebody, and you're riffing on a story or like an idea, and then they seem like they're getting it, and then they just can't execute it as far as like
Right.
the written word, you know. And then when I got this back, I was like, holy shit.
Oh yeah.
He's
No,
a good
Pedro's
storyteller.
he is a good storyteller, you know, and he knows how, you know, he knows how to tell the story with good beats. He knows, you know, characters as well. I mean, and you can tell that he loves doing this. He loves doing the storytelling. He loves, you know, the characters. I mean, he's a big old comic nerd like the rest of us, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, you can tell when somebody actually has a love for what they're doing, because the product that comes out looks good. It's enjoyable. You know, that love always translates when people are doing something that they love, and you know, you can't fake that stuff. You know,
Yeah,
I'm just
he's not a fake, he's not a phony, and he's the real deal. And also that High Octane that you have, that volume 1 there,
yeah,
that's first comic book work.
that's right. He did that before Tropical Magics, didn't he? That's right.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. I am wicked excited to jump into that. I just wanted to bring this back up so everybody could see. So this is the amazing order that I got of Flying Feline says, okay, totally off subject, but I love the stair railing behind Art. She's very much digging the wrought iron behind you over there, Art.
Well, I have to brag on myself. I designed it. So I got a local artisan.
Oh wow.
And he put that together. It goes all the way down, and there's this nice spiral thing at the end of the stairs that kind of curls back around, and then there's like 2 pots, kind of planter things, you know,
amazing.
in the middle of them and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and see, amazing. Just read my mind. That is amazing, man. That is really cool.
Yeah.
And what else is really cool is, let me go ahead and make me big here. Look at all this. Look at all of this. Look at all this fucking awesome right here. I am stoked to jump into volume 2 and to read High Octane, man. And if you guys are looking to get more Thibert art in your life, and who isn't, go grab Art's new book, Oodles of Doodles. That's got to be going to print soon, right?
Yeah, the files should be done soon. I'm doing some polish work tonight on finalizing the files, and then most likely late next week they'll go out to the printer. So
nice.
We're still trying to, you know, iron out some details. And also, what's cool about this printer is they're going to be in Texas. I think not this coming week, but the following week, So we're going to get to hang out with them. So it's always nice when you can meet the people you're working with. You can,
For sure.
you can hang out, you get on the same page and all that other good stuff. So yeah, we're going to go out to like dinner or lunch and put everything, you know, all the final details on it, because we're also going to go with them for the prints, because there's a lot of fine, they're not fine art prints, but they're high end stuff.
Right.
And so what I want to do is I want to have like a gold embossed, I don't know what they call that, around the images. So
okay.
Yeah,
Just kind of like a gold embossed border around the image.
yeah. Let me find it and
Okay.
I can show you.
Art of Roy has a question. He says, Art, I'm late to your black and white campaigns. Will you offer 1 and 2 in the 3rd campaign?
Of course, of course. The only thing is, issue 1, the main cover, completely sold out, and then the Capullo reissue, I think I have just a handful of those books left too. So the 2 main covers have sold out.
Yeah.
So we do have the second printing, which we did with this campaign because we were sold out, with the variant cover on it. So that will be there. And then of course, all the variants, like everything from volume 2, we should be able to reissue. So like the variant, you know, the Kenneth Roquefort variant,
Right.
of course, the main cover with the UV, and we got a Joe Bennett variant as well.
Nice.
And the super rare, which is the black and white in black and white cover, I think we overprinted a little on that as well, but there's not a lot on that one. But there will be for the rest.
Awesome.
So,
Art of Roy says, time for variants, Art.
oh yeah, of course. So here's the campaign.
Oh, let me nope. There we go. That's the one I'm looking for. Had to cycle through the layouts.
Okay, you got it?
Yep, there you are.
All right, I'm going to play this video by Shanthan Jetty.
Do it.
Art Thibert's Oodles of Doodles and Other Stuff 2 is a 60-page, 9x12 hardbound book that will be printed on thick glossy stock paper and is a compilation of artwork from award-winning artist Art Thibert. This book is filled with images that come from Art's Marvel, DC, Image, and Comicsgate work. That includes convention doodles, commissions, creator-owned IPs, and pop culture Art has brought to life with his masterful draftsmanship. Art Thibert's signature style is both lyrical and meticulously realized. The mastery of craft, seen in his work, owes itself to his 40 years in the comic industry, as well as viewing life through his own love of the art form itself. Fans of art prints have the opportunity to back one or both of the many print tiers.
Oh, very
Both
cool.
are stunning collections of work that you can back individually or together as a
dress
bundle.
them up nice.
Art Thibert's Oodles of Doodles and Other Stuff 2. Back it now on Indiegogo.
Yeah, you guys, back it today. We are up. We are in demand now. The live part of the campaign is over. We are 14,540. There's always room for more, you guys. 112 backers. So the book is it started off as a 60-page, but as these campaigns go, we did a stretch goal for 4 more pages. Here it is, 14K, and we hit that stretch goal. So
yeah,
you get 4 new pages, and one of them I showed off on your show, Luke, just a couple minutes ago. Yeah. And so we got Garbage Man, we got Julie Newmar as Catwoman, of course, Cable. And so you guys wanted the Kevin Nolan Art Thibert jam. So that's going to be in those new pages as well. And so then you got to see these in tiers, but we also have prints. So we have Del Keown said, yeah, you can make a print of that pit drawing. And so
that's badass.
I'm always amazed at like people's generosity. Thank you so much, Del Keown, for letting me do this. He said it was badass. So I got the Del Keown approval seal of approval.
Yeah, hail Dale.
And so there's only 2 tiers that you can get that. Let's see, is this still booting? What the heck's going on here? Where are you, Juju? It says
Indiegogo's like, yeah, maybe we'll load, maybe we won't. Who knows?
It says meet Juju. Anyways, there's 11 by 17 print there that you guys can back. And it has character Juju. She's technomancer, voodoo priestess, and she's going to be in the new storyline. So volume 3, she's going to be one of the main bads in that. So I just want to remind you guys real quick, all the prints will come signed, and the book is signed and numbered. Hardbound, 9 by 12. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous looking book. This is the second print.
Yeah.
Completely sold out of the first. So back it today.
Here, I've got I have the campaign page pulled up, and this is Juju. This is the character he was trying to show you guys.
Yeah, yeah. So she was actually in the first issue of the ongoing.
Yeah.
That I was talking a little bit about. And she didn't look like this. So this is a new, like a lot of the stuff that I'm doing is redesigns, updated ideas, things like that. So she obviously raises the dead. So this is my Harryhausen, Sinbad, like skeletal warriors, coming in, kicking some butt. So she's going to be one of the big bads. We got another one, an immortal named Lord Fakin. So we're all over the place with this, and don't get too worried, you guys. There are going to be plenty of robots in this story as well. We're going to get the robots in, and so let's see what's after this.
We could be friends, says Feline.
Yeah. So yeah, also that's a commemorative. So it's got the 30th anniversary sticker on there.
For 30 years of black and white. Man, that's amazing. Now back in the day, did you think 30 years later you'd be still doing black and white?
Well, to be honest, I didn't know there was a market for it.
Yeah.
I never really stopped working on it. Like there are multiple versions of this story that exist. I completely laid out, like it's all drawn out. 4-issue series. That's all in layout form that I did, and that some of those ideas, thank you, Rick, got into the new versions. So it wasn't for nothing, but I never really stopped personally. You kind of work on your projects, after your day job stuff. And so this design, believe it or not, of Juju came out of those sessions. So
awesome.
It's a little different than, like the one I was doing 20 years ago or whatever it was.
Right.
But it's loosely based on that. So a lot of the ideas never die. They just kind of get recycled,
never throw anything away.
Yeah. And reused. A good idea always has a purpose. So yeah. And also there's, I think if you scroll down, these are the print sets.
And Art of Roy was saying, how about instead of gold foil, you do a black and white, if white, matte or glossy embossing. Keep the IPs on model.
Black and white boss.
So like if it was on black paper, you do a white border. If it's you do a black border, glossy.
Oh,
I think
see.
Is what he was saying.
Yeah, that could be neat because black really dresses things up, and a lot of these are like pen and ink or brush and ink drawings, so they'll really hold their own against a black matte or a black frame. Yeah, so these all come signed along with the book, and then this is the 30th anniversary commemorative head sketch. So these will be on the fly leaf of the book.
Oh, nice. Okay.
A white sheet, and so you can get black or white or both of them in the jam tier. And this is the new suits, the new uniforms as well. Thanks, Rick. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I dig the new designs. I like how the costumes are changing, like the suits are changing, like they're getting upgrades. They're technological suits, so they it makes sense that they would get upgrades. I dig it, man.
And Gray is a tech guy.
Yeah.
Working with the MI10, so it makes sense that you know, there would be a guy tinkering with stuff constantly,
Mm-hmm.
you know, tweaking things like that. So they got their own, you know, Tony Stark. So we completely sold out of the commissions, though.
Oh, nice. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
those are gone. They went bye-bye. And also, I didn't want to overcommit myself because I want to get this campaign out as quickly as possible. So we're looking at
Makes sense.
getting the book back before December, hopefully. And so these are going to be shipping out before Christmas. So
Oh, wow.
I'm hoping, keep your fingers crossed that we can do this. But if you wanted to pick this up for a comic, you know, art, you know, aficionado,
Yeah.
this would be a good addition. I got bookshelves full of art books. That's my jam.
Same.
You know,
I got them right over here.
yeah.
They're
So
within easy reach, so I can pull them for reference.
exactly.
Inspiration.
Inspiration. Yeah. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you guys, you know, if you like art books, or if you have a, you know, like a family member, loved one, you know, pick it up for them, you know, get it to them for Christmas. And it's a win-win, baby.
Trust me, they will not be disappointed. I mean, look at this. Look at all this gorgeous line work here. It's fantastic. This is a beautiful looking book. I love that cover, man. The colors on this and the artwork in general just kind of puts me in the mind of Travis Charest. You know, it's like, yeah, that's kind of what it puts me in the mind of.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
love
some of
that
the-
dude's work. And
Yeah.
also, this was a drawing that I just did. Like, you know, I was
Yeah.
talking about, like, you know, I didn't really have a place to go. I didn't have an audience, and I was
Yeah.
just drawing myself. And so this was also kind of early for the new designs for the suits, you know, so the full helmet kind of thing, all that. And so this was kind of, you know, like a tryout for that stuff. And also
Dig it, man.
more modern day with robot, like a robot fighter. You know,
Mhm.
like they weren't really robot fighters in the original. There were robots, but they weren't like necessarily robot fighters. In this, like the MI10, where Reed Blackett worked and is retired from, that's what he was. He was kind of like a robot hunter. So MI10 was an anti-robotics division, and they basically went after rogue AI, robots, things like that didn't follow the guidelines or the laws.
Right.
And so, they went after them, and so he's got a lot of knowledge of it. Hey, Leg Kick, what's up, man?
Good to see you, man.
This
is awesome, man. And Rick Saylor was saying he picks up every black and white OG he comes across. Yeah, I hear you, buddy. I hear you. Got the first three right here.
Luke's got them as well.
Yep, I was showing them off at the beginning of the stream. Yeah, man. This is amazing art. I'm so stoked that that there's going to be more black and white. I'm stoked that there's going to be more black and white high octane, and Oodles of Doodles looks fantastic, dude. I'm gonna have to see if I can get myself a copy of this.
Yeah.
Rick Saylor says, honestly, art is the king of the kings. The amount of amazing artwork, the amazing work art has put in through the years tops everyone else. He's very prolific. That is for sure. That is for sure. Kicking out the jams, as they say.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but thank you. I do appreciate. There's a lot of really talented people on that King show.
There's a lot of talented people in this entire indie scene.
Definitely.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, the whole idea really is to try to get things done, you know, faster, you know, turn around quicker. And but since we still have Oodles up, I just want to explain the title. So I always like things that juxtapose, you know. So like my studio was Hack Shack Studios, right?
Oh yeah.
And so you know, like a hack is a derogatory term for an artist, right? Oh,
right.
They're hacking it out, right? And so you know, I was talking to Jim Lee, and he's like, you can't call your studio that. And I'm like, why? He goes, you do know that it's a derogatory term, right? I go, yeah, but obviously I don't hack things out. Like I'm you know, I'm kind of up there as far as level, and I do great work and blah blah blah. And he goes, yeah, but that name. And then I think what were they called? Homage. So then I I get a fax later from him, and the letterhead says Homage Studios, and I was like, oh my gosh, and then I knew I made the right decision, because I was like, that's kind of pretentious, you know what I mean? Like, so I thought it was funny, like you do like top of the line work, but you have kind of this facing
right,
like name, right? Like
a self-deprecating name, yeah.
Self-deprecating, yeah. Thank you. And so you kind of do that. So like Oodles of Doodles is the same. Like it's like a really high-end art book. Like it's gorgeous. It's top of line printing, all that stuff. But it's called Oodles of Doodles and other stuff too. So just keeping with the rich tradition of just kind of making light, or not taking it too seriously. Like doing top of the line stuff, but then just like a silly name. You know what I mean?
You're having fun with it. You don't take yourself too seriously. And there's a lot of people that take themselves entirely too seriously doing this kind of thing. So I think that puts a nice lighthearted spin on it, to be honest with you.
One of the things I always liked, I like people that are on the top of their game, like make a bunch of money or whatever, and then just do really, really dumb things with their money. There's something not self-destructive. I'm not talking about like horrible things, but I'm just like talking about like silly, strange things, like things that almost seem counterintuitive. Like Nicolas Cage, this great A-list actor, Academy nominated, all these things, or Oscar nominated, and then he's a comic book nerd. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, I love that, man. I think that's cool. And genuine nerds, like they've been collecting since they were kids. It's been a big part of their lives for forever. Like me, it's been a part of me since I was 3 years old, and I know you've been reading comics since you were a kid as well. And especially when it comes to creators, that love of the medium comes across in the things that they make. It comes across in the title of your art book here. You're lighthearted and it's fun. You're lighthearted about it. You love what you do, and you're just putting out good stuff, man. So I think that's awesome. And people, if people read the title and they're like, well, I don't get it, it's like, well,
that's the joke.
All right. Well, we've been going for a little over an hour here, actually about an hour and 18. Is there anything else you'd like to say about Black and White or Oodles of Doodles before we head out, Art?
Well, Oodles is now in demand, so there is some time to pick up the book, but don't wait too long, because I'm not sure how long I'm going to keep it in demand, because I'm a bear of simple brain. So if there's many moving pieces, I get confused and
right.
I get overwhelmed. So I'm going to keep it up as long as my wife and I think we can hold on to our sanity, right? Because I don't want too many moving pieces, too many things going on. And so, I mean, for at least a couple months, it'll be up. So you got that time. And the only reason I'm talking this way is because I know there was some people that contacted me privately or through the live streams that said they wanted to back, but they haven't got paid yet, stuff like that. Excuse me, stuff like that. So I just want to let you know that it will be up for a couple months in demand. And Black and White, the pre-launch sign-up page will be going up soon. So stay tuned for that. God, it's already the end of the week. I can't believe it.
Make sure you're following Art on X and all the other social medias. His links are in the description of this video. That way, when he puts the sign up page out, you can go ahead and put your email in and sign up for it.
Hell yeah! Yeah. So it'll be going up next week for sure. So the pre-launch is good. Even if you are on the fence about backing or whatever, sign up anyway, because you will be eligible for a free trading card. And the Black and White campaign has a bunch of cool ones, and this will just be another one in the collection. And but if you don't sign up, you don't get the card. You know what I mean?
That's how it works. You got to make sure you signed up. That's why you pay attention.
Yeah, sign up, back a book. So we'll be doing that as well, and some of that artwork that I previewed on Luke's show, Death Metal Hero, will be up on that pre-launch as well, so you guys can actually sit and scrutinize it and point your finger and laugh at it.
If you missed it, scroll back and hit the replay on this, and you can see that that exclusive reveal on what's in the box. But Art, this has been a blast, man. Thank you so much for coming to hang out. It's always a pleasure hanging out with you, dude. And chat, you guys are amazing. And thank you guys for being here. And we will see you next time. Later.
It seems that envy is my sin.
What's in the